Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream. I hope that you are all doing good tonight. We're going to be talking about a couple of interesting subjects, some rumors, some speculations, and also some good news. Not about GameStop though. Unfortunately for GameStop is still doing terribly. We're going to be talking about how GameStop is closing at least another 400 stores this year. I've covered the situation with GameStop pretty thoroughly over the past, how long has the GameStop situation really been going on? I've covered it pretty thoroughly over the past probably year. I know that it's been going on longer though, and there's unfortunately some more bad news if you are a lover of physical media like I am. The future of physical media, and one of the few stores that actually sells new physical games, is still doing terribly. I was honestly really hoping that GameStop would kind of bounce back, but with COVID-19 that unfortunately did not help a lot of businesses, and GameStop is definitely one of them. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about some PlayStation 5 rumors and news. On Wednesday there's actually a PlayStation 5 event, a Sony event, and I will be live streaming it here. It's about 3 p.m. Eastern, I believe. But I will be streaming that, but we are hoping that that is really going to be the day that we get the main and big announcements for the PlayStation 5. Hopefully we can get some of the prices, some of the launch dates. I mean, this is all information that we still really don't know for PlayStation. Recently, Microsoft did announce the news, the release date and the prices for the, I was going to say the PlayStation, for the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S, but hopefully now we will finally know the PlayStation 5 news. So I really wanted to kind of talk about the games that are going to be at launch, the rumors for the dates, and also the prices. We're also going to be talking about The Flash and how the Flash movie will reboot the DCEU, and it may lead to the rebirth of the Justice League. I was a big fan of the Justice League. I know that everyone is very excited for the Snyder Cut to finally release, and hopefully this Flash movie will be good, because there are already a lot of bad rumors surrounding the movie and some of the behind-the-scenes production problems, but hopefully it will be good, and this could potentially be really good, a reboot of the DCEU. And we're also going to talk about brand new rumors about Joker 2. The rumor is that Joaquin Phoenix was offered really big money to reprise his role in a Joker sequel. At least one is on the table right now. They have not confirmed it. It has not been officially announced, but apparently they are really digging deep into scripts and they're really trying to get an idea for a Joker sequel, which I feel like a lot of us love Joker. Joker was one of the best movies I've ever seen. It was so amazing, but a sequel does really worry me because one was so good. I'm really hoping that if they do go ahead with a sequel, that it won't be bad. We see so many times that the first movie in something is amazing. The first movie is always just, it's wonderful. And then you have two. And the sequel could go one of two ways. It could be really amazing, or it could also be really, really terrible. We see that happen too often. So hopefully, Joker 2 could be good, but we will talk about that a little bit later. But welcome everyone to the stream. I hope that you are all doing well. It is another day. We have passed another week in 2020. We're all alive still. Huzzah. I'm actually really excited to talk about tonight's topics. I've been extremely excited for the new generation of consoles. I'm not, unfortunately, really excited to talk about GameStop. Poor GameStop. I know that GameStop has had some really shitty policies in the past, and they've just had a lot of negativity surrounding them, but that doesn't mean that they're not useful as a business if you like physical media, and it just kind of shows the changing of the industry. But those are all of the topics that we will be discussing tonight. Hello everyone. Hope that you all are doing good. All right. I will read chat for a moment before we start getting into the topics at hand. Hopefully you guys can hear the background music enough. Hopefully it's loud enough, but not too loud. Blockbuster, who exactly? I mean, Poor Blockbuster as well. I know that we all joke about companies like Blockbuster and Radio Shack and now GameStop, but it just shows how much times are changing. GameStop forever, hashtag I stand with GameStopo. Wow, what a good hashtag. I really was hoping over the past couple of years that GameStop would have changed. They would have changed out their shitty policies. They would have really started listening to consumers. They would have just started being a better company. But that didn't happen. And of course, we had the COVID situation where COVID messed up so many businesses, and GameStop was definitely hurt by that. But I don't think that they can be saved now, to be honest. I don't think so. I mean, other online stores are still alive and well for physical copies, Amazon being the biggest. Right, you can still buy plenty of physical games online, but it just kind of shows how much the gaming industry specifically is changing. And I am also going to bring up a chart that basically says in 2018, 83% of game sales were digital games. It just shows that digital gaming is huge, and there isn't really this need for these physical stores anymore. But GameStop does still provide something to the market, I feel, and even though people can go and individually resell used games online, I still feel like GameStop is a good place to get used games, even though their discounts aren't much compared to a new game, and the games are usually overpriced half of the time. It's still having a store that you can walk into, which matters to me and also matters to a lot of other people. I want to be able to walk into a store to buy games, and while you do have places like Best Buy that do provide physical games, their selections aren't big compared to something like GameStop, which is a specific retailer for games. And I could definitely see Best Buy being one of those companies that could pick up more on gaming, and maybe even like Walmart too, or Target, that could expand their gaming spaces and how much gaming product they're selling. But I still want a store that you can say, if you're looking for a new game, go here, that's specifically a store for gamers. TM. Oh no. I've already made the first TM joke of the night. Ah, great. But we'll get into the first topic in just a second. Here's $2 for your $50 game, GameStop. Well, exactly. That's a huge part of what killed GameStop and what really hurt GameStop was their shitty policies and how little they gave to people for their used games and how much they didn't care. Grim, I'll give you $2.25. I'll up it and say I'll give $3 whole. I don't know what I'm buying. It's called Walmart. Walmart doesn't have huge game selections. Walmart isn't a GameStop. Walmart maybe has like 2 small areas of games. We're talking a whole store made up of games compared to a store that has a very small section. And like I had just said, I think that these large retailers like Best Buy and GameStop can definitely open up how many games they're selling and in their gaming spaces in general and put more gaming product out. But will they if something like GameStop wasn't in the picture? And that's a big question. But alright, we're gonna get into the first topic, which is GameStop. We've been talking about GameStop a little bit over the past couple of minutes, but there is some news about GameStop, which is still pretty unfortunate. GameStop will close at least 400 stores this year. Now, if you're not a fan of physical media, you probably don't give a singular fuck about GameStop closing more stores. And GameStop still has thousands and thousands of stores. It's not like these are their last stores. Their numbers are super dwindling. It's not going to be like Blockbuster, where there's only one store left. But GameStop is closing more stores, and I myself am a huge fan of physical media. I've always said this: if I can get a physical game, I will always go the extra lengths to get a physical game. And we see that the gaming industry is changing, and not everyone thinks that way, which is perfectly fine, but I still want to have options to buy physical media and a place to just go. Obviously, there are larger stores like Best Buy and Walmart that sell physical games, but their game selections are nowhere close to what GameStop provides, and those stores also don't provide used games. So I still feel like GameStop has something to offer. But this is a Game Rant article. GameStop will close at least 400 stores this year. Amidst massive Q2 losses due to COVID-19, GameStop has increased the number of stores it plans to close by the end of the current fiscal year. GameStop's woes continue as the company has announced the closure of a total 400 stores by the end of the fiscal year 2020, a significant increase from the previously announced 388 globally, with intentions on closing more in 2021. Over the past couple of years, GameStop has been closing a lot of stores. GameStop has closed like 300 one month, and then a couple months later you hear about like 200 more going, and then maybe there's 100 more going, but then we have a jump like this where there's this massive number of like 400 stores. They've closed quite a lot of stores over the past couple of years. And obviously a big part of that is due to digital game sales. A lot of people are buying digital games, and I will bring up a chart in just a minute that shows just how massive the digital market is. But GameStop also tried to do something which was awful, which this next paragraph touches on. The retailer giant has faced significant issues for several years, recently focusing on game paraphernalia alongside the sales of games to compensate for the growing number of digital sales. This is a huge downfall in my opinion. GameStop has tried many new avenues for revenue, including selling game codes, focusing on Funko Pops, and even publishing several indie games. This is a huge problem that GameStop has, is that they tried to focus so much on everything else, on pop culture. They tried so hard to shove pop culture into their stores, and they decreased the amount of games that they had. I understand that they were going under and they were trying to figure out a way to make sales, but they literally tried to focus their business on Funko Pop. They put a huge emphasis on Funko Pop. Now, I worked at a local game store for a couple of years, and we even tried to focus on selling Funko Pops, which went terribly. Funko Pops did for a little while have a huge uptick in sales. They were giant, they were massive, and obviously a company like GameStop saw that and went, we could pick up some of these Funko Pops that have to do with TV and video games and entertainment, and it might work. But it didn't work, and it doesn't work for a lot of small stores like comic book stores and entertainment stores, and it definitely didn't work for GameStop. And this is one of the largest downfalls, in my opinion, that they did, was try to shove all of this just bullshit into their stores. They tried to sell keychains and mugs and t-shirts and Funko Pops and clocks and everything, and I understand that that could have worked to a degree. I think putting something like t-shirts, like video game t-shirts, in GameStop is a good idea, but you can't have it be the main focus of GameStop. GameStop has to be about video games. And a big problem with something like Funko Pops and all of these collectibles is that so many stores sell them now. So many stores saw the incline in sales for something like Funko Pops, and then everyone decided to sell them. I mean, you have Targets, GameStops, Best Buys, Walmarts. You have Barnes and Nobles, you have bookstores jumping on this too, and way too many stores tried to jump on this at the same time, which is why it didn't work. It worked at first for a lot of companies, and that's why, you know, GameStop jumped on it. They saw, oh my gosh, all of these sales from this one little item that are cheap to get in mass quantities, but unfortunately, they just didn't realize how many people are selling them. I mean, even gas stations have Funko Pops. And again, I'm gonna say it, I think that putting a little bit of pop culture into the store, like t-shirts for TV shows and movies and games, could have really worked, and it did work for a little while, but unfortunately they just weren't seeing the profit that they wanted, so they tried to jump into a bunch of different areas that they could, and they overwhelmed themselves. Continuing on with the article, though, in my Funko Pop rant, like GameStop, retailers everywhere are preparing for the upcoming next generation. One major concern is how retailers will cope with the upcoming digital editions of Sony and Microsoft's new consoles. Both the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition and the Xbox Series X S, sorry, too many letters, XS. There's a rumored V, will focus on downloading and streaming games and no disk drive. Microsoft officially announced the Xbox Series S earlier this week, which will sell for $299 USD when it launches this November. We are also seeing companies realize that they can sell a system that is cheaper because they don't have to put the drive in it, the disk drive. And I'm not blaming companies for that, it's just the way that the industry has been changing. But we also see these large companies like Microsoft and Sony go, holy shit, we can sell consoles that are much cheaper by just removing one piece. I mean, let's look at the PlayStation 5 versus the PlayStation 5 diskless digital edition. The naming this generation is complete trash. It's rumored, because we don't really know, that the PlayStation 5, the real edition, the PlayStation 5 base edition, is the same exact thing as, or the diskless version is the same exact thing inside. The difference is one has a disk drive and one doesn't, and they're selling it for cheaper. So it makes sense that companies would do this. Wow, we can sell a console for $300 like Microsoft is doing instead of $500, so we reach two different tiers of consumers, because not everyone wants to spend $500 on a new console. So they're just trying to reach different markets, and unfortunately that means removing an optical drive. So it, of course, there's people that are only going to buy, you know, it and be able to buy the physical games, and they're focused on things like Game Pass. Earlier this week, GameStop reported massive losses in Q2 earnings, with revenue on the decline. This should come as no surprise, with the effects of COVID-19 forcing many businesses to temporarily shut down for a long period of time. While the company was already facing several issues due to digital sales growing for consoles, COVID-19's impact should not be downplayed. I do definitely think that that is kind of the nail in the coffin for GameStop. I felt like GameStop could have continued to possibly grow or at least stay steady, but COVID-19 fucked up a lot of things for a lot of businesses, and they definitely are feeling the effects from that for sure. Continuing on with the article, though, initially the company refused to close stores, causing frustration among employees who didn't feel like the company had the employees' best interests in mind. Several employee accounts states GameStop was not properly supplying employees with proper cleaning supplies and hand sanitizer, causing an uproar on social media, with the company responding with plans to do better. There were a lot of companies at the beginning of COVID-19 that weren't taking it very seriously and weren't putting out things like hand sanitizers and giving employees gloves and masks, and now we see how much the COVID situation's blown up, and now every company is forced to provide extra hand sanitizer and sanitary things and provide their employees with these items. But at first, GameStop was one of the companies that was like, we are going to do the bare minimum. GameStop was basically saying, guys, it's just a flu, get over it. And they took a lot of heat on social media for that, because we saw so many companies trying to be their best, and GameStop wasn't one of them. But GameStop, this isn't the first time GameStop's been in the middle of controversy. Let's just be honest. GameStop has been in so many controversies over the years that this is just another to add to their list. And this wasn't even that big of an issue for a lot of people. Yes, the internet was very mad at GameStop for not providing hand sanitizer and cleaning enough, but a lot of average gamers were like, okay, who cares? It's just another controversy to add to GameStop's ever-growing list. In early July, GameStop made mask wearing mandatory for customers when entering a store. Obviously, every company had to. The mandate took effect in late July, giving employees enough time to prep with signs and training. Though the mandate is now in effect, employees are still encouraged to assist those who don't wear masks to avoid potential conflict. The end of the article says COVID-19's impact on the gaming industry has been pretty substantial. On top of retailers closing and only reopening with major restrictions, developers have had to reorganize schedules with work-from-home mandates now in effect, causing the delay in the development of several games. Publishers who had to plan alternative digital events in place of conventions typically open to the public. Later this week, Ubisoft will host its second Ubisoft Forward, which we already saw. Now, to talk about the GameStop thing a little bit further, I wanted to bring up this chart really quickly that kind of talks about digital and physical game sales in the US, specifically from 2009 to 2017. Now, we all know that obviously digital games have become massive. They've become a focus in the industry. And unfortunately, physical games have really taken a step back. But I really wanted to read these to you all in case you don't know the statistics. It's short. It's not that long, but it says digital and physical game sales in the United States from 2009 to 2017. In today's increasingly digital world where information can be accessed in seconds, gamers do not want to waste a second before getting their hands on the latest releases. In 2018, a record 83% of all computer and video games were sold in digital form, meaning that once the game is downloaded, it is immediately ready to play. In contrast, only 17% of video games were sold in physical form. This is a dramatic turnaround from less than a decade earlier, when 80% of video games were sold as physical copies. Guys, 17% of video games were sold in physical form. I'm sure I contributed like 5% to that. I only buy physical. Well, okay. 98% of the time I buy physical. I refuse to buy digital if I don't have to. The only game I've purchased in the past maybe like year is Ghost of Tsushima, and I still want a physical edition of that game, but when it launched, obviously production issues were very big for games, and I could not find a physical edition of that damn game. And they on Amazon were like $160, and I was like, ma'am, no thank you. I'm not gonna spend $160. I can wait. But that is the only game in recent memory that I can think of that I bought that wasn't a physical edition, and I'm going to buy a physical edition of it. But it's just that the industry is changing. Digital gamers, it says. The digital gaming industry is a continually growing market. The number of gamers playing downloaded games in the United States is expected to grow from 170 million in 2017 to 174.4 million in 2023. Keep in mind that this is a chart from like 2017 to 2018, as it says. I couldn't find any numbers for 2019, unfortunately, but I'm sure that if I really did a deep dive, I could find them, but I really couldn't find them. But maybe they just haven't been launched. In the same time frame, the revenue generated from downloaded games is due to increase from just under $4 billion to over $4.3 billion. And then it ends with downloadable content. A big draw of the digital gaming market is the ability to download extra content for games and other apps at the push of a button. This DLC market was valued at $5.3 billion in 2011, but is expected to almost quadruple to $19.5 billion in 2020. When we finally get these 2020 numbers, I will 100% reference them again because 2020 is almost over now. Wow, but I'm curious to see if it really did quadruple to this. I'm sure that it did. The DLC market in downloadable content is huge. It's huge. It finishes though with, while gamers worldwide unsurprisingly spent the most amount of money on full download games, full download games. A little bit of awkward wording there. The average amount spent on in-game downloads is almost as high. Some of the leading reasons for spending hard-earned cash on in-game purchases and downloadable content includes the being able to buy things that give the gamer an advantage in the game and the ability to level up more quickly, and also to get the shiny things that shitty companies put behind huge paywalls with a 1 in 1,000 chance to get. It's a little bit of my own commentary there. But yeah, I just wanted to show you all that a record 83% of all PC and all computer and video games were sold in digital form. Only 17% of video games were sold in physical form in 2018. I couldn't find 2019 numbers, like I said, and obviously 2020 numbers aren't out yet, but I mean, unfortunately for GameStop, It's just been getting worse and worse for them. They still have over 5,000 stores. They still have like 5,138 stores in globally. So they still got a shit ton of stores. But it does seem like, in my opinion, there's no way that they can be saved, especially with how many games are digital now. They've been framing closing stores as a restructuring to focus more on, like, heavier traffic stores. The same rhetoric that came from Blockbuster and Radio Shack in their dying days. They're just kind of following in the footsteps of those companies. I bet that we're going to see a Chapter 11 in the next, like, year and a half from GameStop. I don't think they're going to go down without a fight, because they really haven't gone down without a fight yet. They've really been fighting to stay alive, but unfortunately, with COVID-19, with all of the controversies they've been in, with their shitty policies, with the way they treat employees, with how many stores there are, I don't know if GameStop... It hurts to say, but I don't know if there's an easy way for them to be saved. But that's all that we really had to talk about with GameStop. We will move into the next topic in just a moment, which is going to be PlayStation 5 news. Some of the most exciting news of the night, in my opinion. I'm so excited to talk about the PlayStation 5 rumors, the roundup, because we've got an event in a couple of days. And it's going to be good. I hope it's going to be good. I really just want to know the new console prices. Just give them to me. We're a couple of months away from launches of these consoles. Just tell me. Don't keep this information anymore. We don't need it hidden. Oh well, that's too bad. Well, I think it's pretty bad. I'm pretty disappointed that GameStop is going under. I would love for there to be a store that sells tons of games, but there are things like entertainment stores, like local game stores, comic book stores, those types of things, but they usually don't provide a lot of new games, and sometimes they don't, they don't provide that used selection either, which there are games that, there are stores that focus on games, which is great, but I think that losing GameStop is going to be a sad moment for gamers, even though everyone's going to laugh at it when GameStop finally goes. The first couple of weeks, everyone's going to think it's funny, and then they're going to realize, oh man, I can't go to GameStop to get that game that I wanted. It's just less options for people, and I like options. I want there to be multiple options for stores and places to go to get games. It's unfortunate. At least for me. I'm a GameStop sympathizer, everyone. Gotta get me those physical games. Unless I get a big burst of credit on my GameStop card, I'm out on the next generation. Well, if you mean just because of how expensive next generation is, yes, games are going up. It sounds like to $70. And I've talked about this in the past. I speculated. I said I think they're going to go up to 70. And we're seeing now companies come out and say that next generation games will be 70. We have 2K. We have EA. We have, who else was there? There's been a couple of companies that have come out, Activision Blizzard, Call of Duty, that's what I was thinking of. The next Call of Duty on next generation consoles is going to be $70. And you have to consider $70 for games on top of consoles that are $300 to $500 is a lot. It's a lot. I understand that a lot of people right now aren't convinced about next generation, which I understand. I understand. Talking about the consoles, well, if you need a console, if you get a console, you have to buy the games. So if you buy a $500 console, you're also gonna have to buy the $70 games that come with it, unless they give you free chess and checkers. Guys, I'm gonna buy a Series X just to play the free checkers games. All of the evil companies were so excited to announce the $70 price tags, probably. It's just $10 more, and there are some games that I understand that maybe like $70 is a little bit understandable, but a game like Call of Duty, where every year it's basically the same game just with slightly updated graphics and you rename characters, maybe you change their mustaches around a little bit, maybe you have to like make 1 or 2 brand new ideas and maps, and besides that you copy and paste all the same guns into a game. I don't really know if that warrants $70, especially when you're pushing those games out every year. 10 more too much. I agree with that. They're going to 70, 10 more expensive than, 10 more dollars than they are now, but 10 more dollars too expensive. Disappointing. Let me move this around a little bit. What is this game at the top? Let me look at this ad. Spellbreak. Oh, that's right. That's the Battle Mage. The Battle Mage Battle Royale. I actually haven't played this game yet. Have any of you played it? Random question, I know. I've been meaning to look into it. I'm actually slightly intrigued. I'll have to look into it. Anyway, getting off track with ads. Great. Great, thank you, GameSpot. Yeah, plus DLC. There's also DLC for games too. So you have a $500 console, you have $70 games that you're probably purchasing a game once every 2 months at minimum. Most people are purchasing like a new game a month. Then you have DLC and microtransactions and all of that, which gets expensive. I've downloaded it. Awesome, Cinder. I'll have to check it out. All right. So we are going to move on to some PlayStation 5 rumors, what we know right now. Now, when I'm live, hi guys. For those of you who are here when I'm live, make sure to like the live stream. Consider donating via Streamlabs for just $1. Selfless shill. In 2 days on Wednesday, there is a PlayStation event. There's a PS5 event on. Let me find the official time. On Wednesday, September 16th, so on Wednesday, it is at 4 o'clock Eastern. Great, it's an hour later than I thought. How about that? It is at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern. I will be live streaming it here on the channel. I am going to be showing off what they have to announce. Who really knows what that will be, but hopefully the announcements will be good. Hopefully we'll finally get some dates, the release dates, the prices for the consoles, for the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Discless Edition. If maybe we'll even get a name for the Discless Edition if they're going to call it something else. Maybe something just a little bit better, a little bit more unique, but I will be streaming that. But I really wanted to, a couple days before that, really go through the roundup of the games that are launching with the consoles, the prices that we've heard rumored, the release date rumors, and just kind of the basics of what we know about the PlayStation 5, because I'm someone that is going to get a PlayStation 5 on launch. I'm getting an Xbox Series X at launch, hopefully, as long as I can get my hands on one, because I have a bad feeling that these numbers will be really, really low production-wise. But this is a GameSpot article. They have everything nicely compiled. Yeah, it's 4 p.m. Eastern. It's too late in the day, but they really wanted to put an emphasis on Pacific time. Which Pacific time, usually they're doing events that are like 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. Pacific time, so they kind of wanted to be a little bit more time conscious, I suppose, but 4 p.m. Eastern's late. Anyway, I'll be streaming it here on the channel. PS5 Roundup, games, prices, and release date rumors, and what we know. Ooh, I am excited for the new consoles, and I'm really hoping that the PS5 is going to be a good price. I really hope that the $500 rumors are true, because I'm not looking to spend $600 on a new console. We're just a few months away from the release of the PlayStation 5, Sony's next generation console. At its PS5 release event on June 11th, Sony finally showed us what the console actually looks like, while also giving us a sense of the lineup of games coming to the console at launch and beyond. Basically, it looks like a Tron internet router. It looks great, in my opinion. I think it actually looks kind of cool. At first, I didn't like the look of the PlayStation 5, and then I decided, wow, I actually kind of like the look of it. and it's grown on me quite a lot. New information has slowly trickled out since then, and we're keeping tabs on all of it below. Perhaps most notable is the latest development concerning PS5 pre-orders. Existing PSN users can use the pre-register their interest in pre-ordering the system. Basically, there's a pre-order, well, there's like a pre-registration list for the pre-order of the console. This doesn't guarantee you get a slot either, and it's unclear what criteria will lead to invites going out. But if you're keen on getting a system as quickly as possible, you should certainly sign up. More information will be coming during a September 16th PlayStation 5 event. While specifics on what to expect have not been shared by Sony, this may be where we finally learn how much the PlayStation 5 will cost and when it's releasing. Sony did tweet out on the official PlayStation Twitter that it's going to be like the future of PlayStation event. We had Nvidia saying the future of PC gaming, we had Microsoft saying the future of console gaming, now we have Sony saying it's the future of PlayStation gaming. It's always the future, everyone. More over the months, we've learned about the PS5's technical specs as well as its new DualSense controller in certain games. We've even seen Unreal Engine 5 gameplay running on the system, and though it was not a full game, the technical specifications of the system mean that we would be approaching photorealism in some games. I mean, from what we've seen, both of the consoles have a lot to offer. They really do. Why is this random Marines bar here? Marines, please. Stop advertising on my GameSpot article. Sony plans to launch this holiday season, and though Sony still hasn't revealed a final date or price, it will arrive in 2020, and the ongoing pandemic is not impacting that timeline. However, though, a Bloomberg report indicates we may need to prepare for supply shortages at launch, as well as possibly reduced or altered promotion compared to Sony's typical product releases. However, those supply shortages will not be directly due to COVID-19. Of course it's due to COVID-19. They've said that there's production problems because of COVID-19. All of their games have had production problems since the beginning of COVID. During 2019, it was revealed that the PlayStation 5 will also have PS4 backwards compatibility and SSD storage, and it will support PSVR. So let's go down here to the table of contents. This is the design. I don't really think I have to read about the design. I actually think that it looks kind of cool now, like I said. At first, I didn't like it. I really like the controller. I don't know. At first I was like, okay, this looks bad. But it's really grown on me. Compared to the Xbox Series X, which is literally just a mini PC tower, which it's not really mini, the thing's big. This actually looks cool. It's not the best, but it's cool. Now, the PS5 release date, as I've read, this is surely the question on everybody's lips. When will the PS5 come out? Sony, as you expected, is tight-lipped on the matter, but it has confirmed a holiday 2020 release window for the PlayStation 5. The company has been no more specific than that, even during its June 11th release date. Hopefully on Wednesday we will actually get the release date and the pre-order date, hopefully, but there's been a lot of rumors lately that it will be releasing a week after the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. So Windows Central, I couldn't find the initial article, but Windows Central had showed the leaked Xbox dates a couple of days before Microsoft officially announced it, and they also said that because the Xbox Series X is launching on November 11th, the week after, on the 17th, the new PlayStation would release. So we're all kind of expecting that November release date for the PlayStation 5. It kind of sounds like this is the general time zone for the consoles to release. Them releasing a week after each other isn't that shocking. It wouldn't be that surprising, but that does kind of sound like when the release of the PlayStation 5 will be. Of course, it says the PS5 price. Sony did also not include a price at its June 11th reveal event, so we still don't know how much its new console will cost, but the company has said that the PS5's price will be attractive to gamers. I believe that we will be able to release it at an SRP, suggested retail price, that will be appealing to gamers. In light of its advanced feature set, said said Mark Cerny, the lead architect of the PS4, who currently is working on its successor. There's also been rumors about the price. It does sound like the PS5 will be $499. I'm just going to say, if the PS5 is $599, it's going to turn a lot of people off. But right now, from what we're hearing, the PS5 is going to be $499, and the discless version of the PS5, I keep wanting to say PS4 for some reason. Earlier I wanted to say the PS6. The PlayStation 5 discless version will be $399, so we don't know. It's not officially confirmed, but it says, of course, you wouldn't expect Sony to say anything different, but one gets the feeling that the company has learned from the PS3's price tag and the console's subsequent struggles, and the PlayStation 4's more reasonable cost and subsequent successes. This is especially likely considering Microsoft's own struggles early in the Xbox One's lifespan, as it priced the system a full $100 above the PS4 and was forced to make cuts to address this later. Will the PS5 be backwards compatible with PS4 games? This is one of the largest issues with the PS5 that a lot of people are having. He also confirmed that the PlayStation 5 will be backwards compatible with PS4 games, as the new two consoles are built upon similar internal architectures. This will be welcome news for those who were disappointed by the PS4's lack of backwards compatibility with the PS3, PS2, and PS1 games. We can't expect this console to do everything. I was really hoping that it would be backwards compatible with a ton of different generations. It would be backwards compatible with the PlayStation 4. I was hoping for the PS3, but unfortunately we're not getting PS3, PS2, or PS1 games. In terms of which games players can expect to play, a full list hasn't been confirmed, although he noted that the PS4's 100 most played games will be available on the PlayStation 5 at launch and will run even better than before. That's exciting. I'm someone who really likes to replay games. I like games that I can sit down and play again, like a Ghost of Tsushima. That would definitely be a game that I would replay again, and there's plenty of them, plenty of games that I could think of. But I like the idea of being able to, on my new console, go back and play games that I previously enjoyed. So it is exciting to hear that some of the most played games will be available on the PlayStation 5 at launch. Last of Us 2 where? Oh. He also discussed how backwards compatibility will be approached in the PlayStation 5 internally, and how the functionality will not be removed upon subsequent console iterations given the nature of their approach to designing the feature. One way you can achieve backwards compatibility is to put the previous console's chipset into the new console, like we did with some PlayStation 3s, he said. But that's, of course, extremely expensive. A better way to incorporate any differences in the previous console's logic into new console's custom chips, meaning that even as the technology evolves, the logic and feature set that the PlayStation 4 and the PS4 Pro titles rely on is still available in backwards compatibility mode. This is exciting to me. I know that it's disappointing that we don't have the PS3, PS2, PS1 games, but I'm still glad that we get some sort of backwards compatibility, though it's pretty basic. I think that we all at least expected it to be backwards compatible with most PlayStation 4 games. Here are the PlayStation 5 specs if you have not seen them yet. The CPU is 8 Zen 2 cores at 3.5 gigahertz variable frequency. The GPU 10.28 teraflops, 36 CUs at 2.23 variable frequency. The GPU architecture is custom RDNA2. Memory interface 16 gigabytes GDDR6/256-bit. Memory bandwidth 448 gigabytes. Internal storage is a custom 825 gigabyte SSD, which a lot of people have been really mixed on. A lot of people have been really mixed on that number. 825 gigabyte SSD. It's low. It's low. I mean, I think that 1 terabyte put into consoles is low, but putting less than a terabyte is just so disappointing to me. As it says, expandable storage, NVMe, SSD slot, external USB HDD support, and the optical drive is the 4K UHD Blu-ray drive. Oh, why do these consoles suck for their internal storage? I wanted to read, so this is the main part that I wanted to read. Can I use expandable storage with the PlayStation 5? The PS5 allows users to install non-Sony oh my goodness. I'm gonna restart that. Can I use expandable storage with the PlayStation 5? The PS5 allows users to install non-Sony proprietary expandable storage. I can talk finally, giving you the option to purchase off-the-shelf parts to slot into the system. According to a Digital Foundry report, NVMe PC drives will work in the PlayStation 5, but the only problem is that PC technology is significantly behind PS5 and Sony needs to validate them to ensure that they will work properly. It's good that they're doing this. They are not pulling a Microsoft. Microsoft is making you buy everything Microsoft. You cannot go out and buy non-Microsoft expandable storage, unfortunately. But Sony isn't doing that with the PS5, which I respect. I'm good with that. I see Grim saying a 2TB SSD is like $250. They suck because big SSDs are expensive. I know. I understand that. I completely understand why they had to go with this terrible little tiny itsy bitsy 825 gigabyte SSD. It's just disappointing for a lot of people as well, not just even myself. Sony's approach is far different from the Xbox Series X, which will support external storage devices but only for Xbox One games and other media. For Xbox Series X games, they will require proprietary cards. This is really disappointing for the Xbox Series X. I know a lot of people have really shit on Microsoft for that. As it says, will the PlayStation 5 support PSVR? Yes, the current PSVR will indeed be supported by the PlayStation 5. Of course, we see the logo here. Not a lot to talk about. Not very innovative, not very unique, not very exciting. It's the PlayStation 5 logo. The cases, though, here's a sneak peek at what the PS5 games will look like when you see them on store shelves starting during the holiday. It does appear that they're moving from the top being the black bar with white lettering or blue lettering to the fully white, which I like. I think it looks cool. It matches the console. You have the white bar with the black logo with the blue case. I think that it looks cool. I think that it looks interesting. Make sure the games are good. That's all I have to say. And then it says the PS5 games. At the June 11th PS5 reveal event, Sony detailed a big slate of games that are coming to the next-gen console, including several exclusives. Here was the list that was shown during the June 11th event. Obviously, there are so many more games that are coming to this console. It's not just these games, but these are some of the bigger names that were announced. We have Grand Theft Auto 5, Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Wow, I said that wrong. I'm actually pretty excited for that. I enjoyed the Marvel's Spider-Man game that came out, 2 years ago at this point? It was really good. I cannot wait to see what this game will have. Gran Turismo 7. This was a big excitement for me. I've always loved Gran Turismo, and seeing the next one on the PS5 is so good. We have Stray. Stray was actually that cat game that we don't know anything about. It's just this like random game where you play as a cat and you walk around as a cat. I mean, I'm down for it. $70 game where? Take my money. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. It's looked pretty decent. We've seen a lot of gameplay and a lot of footage for Ratchet and Clank. I think that is a game that they're really trying to push, and I don't think that it's bad to push it. I think that it seems really interesting. We have Godfall. Godfall is a game that I am so looking forward to. We have Ghostwire Tokyo, another game that I'm so excited for. Goodbye Volcano High. That's going to be a no from me. NBA 2K21. Oh, the best game. Oh, NBA 2K21. I gotta buy 4 copies at launch. Give me Madden as well. I'll buy them all. Hitman 3. Hitman 3 is obviously one of the most anticipated titles. Deathloop, we haven't seen too much of Deathloop, but Deathloop does look cool. Horizon Zero Dawn 2 Forbidden West, that is definitely a game I will be playing on launch. Demon's Souls is another game that I am so excited to see. I don't have it right next to me, but I recently purchased, a couple of months ago, I purchased Demon's Souls, the original, and I haven't played it yet. Well, I've played it in the past, but I mean, I haven't replayed it, but I really want to replay it and get ready for the remake. I don't know what they're calling it. I don't know if they're calling it technically a remake or a reimagining. I think it's like more of just a straight remake instead of like something like Resident Evil 2's remake, where it was more of a reimagining. But these are some of the games that we are expecting on the PlayStation 5. A lot of them here are really, really good. And right now, for me at least, I am more excited about the PlayStation games than Microsoft games. I know, it's hard to say. Halo Infinite just doesn't look good. And that was my #1 most excited game, to be honest. The Xbox Series X launch titles right now are, let me see if I can find this coherent list really quickly. Oh no, I'm not going to be able to find it, am I? I was trying to find a coherent list of launch titles, but it doesn't appear that there's one really made. Oh, okay. We do have one. I mean, we have Fable. Fable looks really good, but we don't know a lot about Fable. All we saw was like a 20-second or 30-second cinematic trailer. So I'm holding off on Fable for now, but it is a game that I'm excited for. That's not going to be for years, though. Halo Infinite, complete garbage. State of Decay 3 looks interesting. Forza looks interesting. Everwild looks interesting. Avowed looks interesting, but there's no games that I'm looking at for the Xbox lineup, and I'm going, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to play this, because something like Fable, it's not going to be out for years. But I'm getting both at launch. I'm going to try at least to get a Series X at launch, get a PlayStation 5 at launch, but that's all that we really know about the PlayStation 5. We know that there is the event on Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Be here. I will be live streaming it. Hopefully we will get the release date and prices and maybe a look at more games. But that's the roundup for the PlayStation 5. How do you all feel about the PlayStation 5? Are you excited for the PlayStation 5? Are you more excited for the Series X, or are you simply just not very interested in next generation gaming so far? I know that there are actually a lot of people who are not very excited, that are kind of underwhelmed. I'm not someone that's underwhelmed by the next generation of gaming. I think that it looks really good, but I do know that there are a lot of people that are like, doesn't seem like a big enough boost for me to go out and buy a $500 console. I'd rather just use the console that I have for now. PC gaming is best, though. The Xbox One is a really good console. Monster Truck Madness for the Switch. There are rumors that there's going to be I've talked about them a couple of times now. There are some really, really believable rumors that a new Nintendo Switch model is coming in 2021. 4K. Imagine. 4K? Wow. Amazing. Yeah. I mean, Grim says... So, really quickly, if there is a Nintendo Switch Pro version, a higher tier version, 100% I am getting my hands on that day one. I would never pass on that. Grim says everyone just buy an RTX 3090 for $14.99. Yeah, you buy it. It's just, it's good enough. You don't need anything else. All you need is a sweet, sweet 3090. Oh, those 3090s look good. PlayStation 5, thumbs up. Xbox, thumbs up. Everyone buy both. I don't necessarily think that people need to buy both if you're not excited for specific exclusives. I mean, that's usually what people care about, is the exclusives. For me, I'm definitely leaning heavily on PlayStation exclusives so far this generation, because a lot of the Xbox games, like I said, I'm excited for aren't coming out for a while, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to buy both consoles. I am definitely buying them both day one. We've also got Valhalla. Valhalla wasn't on that list. Valhalla and Watch Dogs Legions are going to be launch titles as well, both Ubisoft. I'm excited for Valhalla. I couldn't care less about whatever console is better. I just want to play video games. That's all that matters. Fair enough. All that matters is if there are exclusive games you care about, and then you buy the console which the exclusive games are on. I agree with that. PC Master Race. PC is Master Race. PC's best. Buy a 3090, then resell it and make money. I don't think that that's going to happen. That's some, like, real investment talk that you shouldn't believe. Guys, go buy into GameStop stocks now. Go do it. You heard it here from me. Exclusive. Go buy into GameStop. Get your hands on it now. It's gonna be hot soon. I don't think that the 3090s are going to sell fast. I know that they're good, but I feel like most people are going to go for the 3080. I think that 3080 is going to sell like hotcakes. The 3090, I'm sure, will still sell very well. I'm gonna be one of the people that gets a 3090 eventually. But I think most people are going for the 3080. And there's rumors of a 3060 that's going to be even cheaper than the 3070s, which is exciting. Buy GameStop now. If you like to lose money, do it. No. You would, if you bought into GameStop now, you would never lose money. You wouldn't lose a single quarter. You would make millions. All right, it's what all the cool kids are doing. They're buying into GameStop, getting as much. They're getting in. Now's the time. Honestly, I've regretted buying every non-Nintendo console I've purchased since the 360, PS3, PS4, all just collect dust. Fair enough. I love my Nintendo consoles. I've always been a huge fan of Nintendo. I've always been quite a Nintendo fangirl. I mean, I think that the Switch is just an amazing console, but the thing is that most people buy things like the PlayStations and the Xbox for the exclusive games. If you don't want to buy a gaming PC, I feel like the easier option for a lot of people is usually just a console, because every couple of years they come out with a new version and then they update it. So it's like, you don't have to worry about what if something, well, you do have to worry about if something breaks, but it's more of like, yes, you're behind in technology when you buy a console instead of just buying a gaming PC. But if you only care about a couple of specific games, then buying a console is just easier for a lot of people. Vera, buy me a 3090. How about you buy me a 3090 and then I'll buy you a 3090? I play PC mostly, but Nintendo for its exclusives. Nintendo has some damn good exclusives. Nintendo kills it with exclusives. Go Nintendo. Really quickly, I want to say before we move to the next topic of the night, if you guys are enjoying the live stream, please make sure to give it a like. If you're not, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way. Please consider donating via Streamlabs. You can for just $1 and a notification will pop up. $3 and higher, text-to-speech will activate. Sound effects are loud, so it'll be a jump scare. And please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month. All of the links are in the description of the live stream. Alright, let's move in to the next topic of the night, which is one from boundingintocomics.com. The Flash will reboot the DCEU and may lead to the rebirth of the Justice League. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk lately about the Justice League and the DCEU and the Flash and all of these movies that are coming out. And a lot of that is obviously because the Snyder Cut of the Justice League is going to be coming out in 2021. We've seen a lot of trailers for it, a lot of teasers for it, some of the clips from it, and I am someone that's very excited for the Snyder Cut. I've loved the Justice League. I'm going to be honest, I've never been a fan of Ezra Miller. He is just, to me, not the best Flash. He's just not an actor that I really like, but I thought that the rest were amazing. I think that Henry Cavill is an amazing Superman, Gal Gadot is an amazing Wonder Woman, and I'm a fan of Ben Affleck as Batman. I've always been very vocal about that. I think that he is actually pretty damn good, but he doesn't get enough credit. He doesn't. But these are some really big rumors that I'm really excited about. I have a good feeling about this. So fans who have asked whether or not the upcoming The Flash film would reboot Warner Brothers' floundering DCEU have finally had their questions answered. As the second DC fandom event held this past weekend, a producer acknowledged that The Flash will restart everything and doesn't forget anything. Those are very cryptic words. Restart everything and doesn't forget anything. What does that exactly mean? What does that exactly entail? Well, I want you to go see it, so I'm not going to tell you a lot. I hate when producers and filmmakers give you that answer. Well, I just can't tell you because you won't go and see it. Yeah, I'm gonna see it if you tell me something I'm interested in. That's going to it's gonna make me even more excited about it. That's going to make me want to go see it more than I did before. Maybe give us a little bit of a hint. Who then teased the smorgasbord of characters that will appear in the film. But what I will tell you is that it's a ride. It's going to be fun and exciting, and there are a lot of DC characters in it. There's been a lot of negativity when we're talking about the Flash movie. Ezra Miller is a complete nutcase. He's gotten into like 2 or 3 controversies. This movie lost a director. It lost a bunch of writers. This movie hasn't had the smoothest production. This movie hasn't gone extremely well. It's been in development now for a couple of years. And I hope that when it comes out, it's good. I am not a fan of Ezra Miller, like I said, but that doesn't mean I want it to fail. I want this movie to come out and have it be good. And hearing that it's going to restart things without forgetting anything is worrying. But it's also leading me to believe that they actually are doing something good. Don't quote me. This could turn out awful. Make no mistake, as despite the numerous heroes rumored appeared in the film, she assured fans that the Flash is the superhero of this film and explained that he is the bridge between all of these characters and timelines. Her assurance aligns with Jeff Johns' original celebrated story arc that restarted DC Comics continuity in the New 52 and provides more evidence that Barry Allen is the key of the DCEU referenced in the Snyder films rather than Lois Lane. I am so sad that the key of the DCEU is Ezra Miller. The actor, what's his name, Grant Gustin, I want to say. The actor who plays the Flash in the CW is amazing. He is so good as Barry Allen. He is fantastic. Ezra Miller and I just have never clicked, but that doesn't mean that I want the movie to fail, and that doesn't mean I want it to come out and be bad. I'm not trying to be negative here. But yeah, the actor from CW, he's great. As for the timelines mentioned by her, these are most likely of the Snyderverse, where Barry originates from, in the Michael Keaton Batman films, which will be represented in the film with an appearance by Keaton himself. I cannot wait to see Michael Keaton reprise his role as Batsy. That is so exciting, and obviously I'm not the only person who's excited for that, but I think that that could be really good, really nostalgic. I feel like they're trying to play at the nostalgia here, but I mean, if it works, it works. According to most reports, the Flash will follow Barry as he goes back in time to save his mom in a time travel adventure that will see the Speedster slam into alternate timelines and other realities while diving deeper and deeper into the DC multiverse. While the characters that will figure out the script, while the characters that will figure into the script, I read that wrong, other than Keaton's Batman, Ben Affleck's Dark Knight, and Cyborg, despite Ray Fisher's battle with the studio and proclaimed creative demands, currently remains a mystery. A new scoop from Geekosity's Mikey Sutton may provide insight to the film's extended cast. According to his anonymous sources, obviously anonymous sources, please take it with a grain of salt, the Justice League will be reborn in the upcoming Flash film, and its membership drive will extend further than simply getting the band back together. I just want to see the band back together, guys. I just want my Batsy, my Ben Affleck Batsy, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, Henry Cavill as Superman. I just want the band back together. That would be good enough for me. As far as the original members of the Justice League are concerned, fans can look forward to the return of Henry Cavill as Superman, Wonder Woman Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Though Gal's rumored appearance has previously been reported, Jason Momoa resurfacing from the depths as Aquaman is a fresh catch of news that pushes The Flash closer to a full-blown reunion of the Snyder's Justice League. The rumors that Cavill will make an appearance in The Flash is the latest indication that the actor intends to make the iconic red cape out of the closet for another appearance as Krypton's last son. I really hope that they don't mess it up. After reading all of these rumors, I think that it sounds like the idea that they're going for is really good. I really don't want this to be shit. Oh, and then we have Miss Amber Heard here. Another big question mark in the DCEU. Along with Momoa's Aquaman, Sutton's insiders also confirmed that Amber Heard will return as Mera, whether fans like it or not. I've covered the situation with Amber Heard quite a lot here on the channel, and also Johnny Depp. It does sound at this point like she will be returning. She will be Mera again. They do not give a shit about all of the terrible things that she's done, the terrible things that she's admitted to doing, and they're going to bring her back, even though a lot of people, don't want her back. And I think that that could definitely be an issue for this movie if she is actually in it and returns. I do think that people may boycott the film and may not see it, and I think that it could mean a lot more negative attention that possibly they're expecting. The anonymous insiders also confirmed Ray Fisher will reprise his role as Cyborg, as previously reported, but notes that Affleck's future with the Justice League is murky at best. This is the most disappointing news for me. Ben Affleck was good. I liked him. I know a lot of people didn't like him. I didn't have any glaringly bad problems with him. Sutton then states that while there have been discussions with him directing his Dark Knight movie for HBO Max, it's possible that The Flash will rewrite him out of the continuity in an attempt to officially pass the torch of the Dark Knight to Batman's Robert Pattinson. I don't want them to do any of that before we've seen the Batman with Robert Pattinson. I don't want them to make any bad decisions, because fans might end up hating Robert Pattinson as Batman. We don't know yet, but it sounds like it definitely is in talks, and that they're hoping that that's where the DCEU will go, and that's who will play Batman, because Ben Affleck doesn't want to be part of it anymore. He's done with it, and I think that everyone else is kind of done with it too. No one else kind of wants to deal with him either. So sad. So sad. While Sutton also confirms the appearance of one of the Earth-based Green Lanterns, a follow-up scoop given to Pop Culture Minefield on YouTube revealed that Jon Stewart is the Lantern wanted for the team due to the success of the Cartoon Network animated Justice League series. The article goes on to say, though, on the topic of magical rivals, Black Adam and Shazam, Sutton stated that cameo appearances for the two have been discussed, albeit possibly in separate scenes. Given that the execs are hoping that both the Snyder Cut and The Flash will ignite interest in a sequel, which could be either directed by Zack Snyder or Patty Jenkins of the Wonder Woman franchise, that would focus on the Justice League partnering with the Justice Society and a nod to their annual summer meetings in DC Comics. Sutton said that Black Adam would not join the JLA, but would instead be developed to lead the JSA. However, Sutton adds that Shazam is another matter, and noted that there have been discussions about either Batson or Jamie Rye's Blue Beetle being called up to join the JLA. That's all that we really know right now. It sounds like they've got a plan. If these rumors are true, because a lot of this is rumors and speculation, from an anonymous source, it sounds like they have an idea, and that sounds good, because we found out recently that a lot of companies like Lucasfilms had no fucking clue for their huge franchises. I mean, they had no clue what they were doing with Star Wars at all, and even the actresses and actors have confirmed that. I hope that they go into this, anything else with the DCEU, and they really consider what they're doing before they do it, because I don't want it to be ruined. I want the DCEU to be good. I'm excited for seeing more Justice League and seeing these characters again, but if the Flash movie is bad, I do definitely think that the DCEU will be in an extremely rough spot. But that's all that I had to talk about with that topic. We are going to move on to the last topic in just a moment, which is about Joker 2. So exciting. I hope they have a 5 to 10 year plan after the DCEU gets rebooted. I like Elseworlds/solo stuff, but these characters don't live in a vacuum anymore, and I'd hate for the DC movies to mainly just focus on Elseworlds. I hope that they have a 5 to 10 year plan as well. I have no clue what they're going to do with the DCEU, but it sounds like if we're using words like rebooting the DCEU, that they've got some sort of big plan and some sort of big surprise. I just hope that it's a good one. I really do. I think that we all do. Bill and Ted should join the DCEU. That's an idea. Don't give them any ideas like that. It might actually happen. Black Adam is supposed to be a villain, but not anymore. Yeah, they're completely changing around Black Adam. Why? Who knows? What they're going with? Who really knows? But they're changing him quite a lot. Alright, you guys, so I am going to talk about the final topic of the night. This is another boundingintocomics.com article. There is a brand new big rumor surrounding Joker 2, and I think that we can all definitely get behind this rumor. Joker 1 was a fantastic movie. It was so good. It was so suspenseful and impactful, and it was a story that we hadn't really seen before on the big screen, and I think Joaquin Phoenix did an amazing job as Arthur Fleck. But the rumor now is that Joaquin Phoenix was offered very, very big money to reprise his role for Joker sequels. Despite its standalone nature, Phoenix's Joker may spin out into a trilogy, as a new rumor suggests that Phoenix has been offered a sizable amount of money to put on a happy face for 2 back-to-back sequel films. An insider has informed the UK Mirror that Phoenix is being offered $50 million to reprise the Oscar-winning role of Arthur Fleck for 2 more movies. $50 million is a shit ton of money. I mean, if he was paid $50 million for Joker 2, he would be it would be one of the highest paid roles. If you go to a list, some of the highest ones are Will Smith in Men in Black. He was paid like $100 million. We have things like Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones. We have Robert Downey Jr. in Infinity War. He was paid like $75 million. But if this $50 million rumor is true, he would be in one of the top paid roles in Hollywood. He would be probably top 10 for sure. There are a lot of older roles that are higher up, but you have to consider inflation. So there's that. $50 million. Holy shit. Jaquan initially felt Joker was a standalone movie, said the insider, but he's changed his tune now. He says he wants to play this character again, despite the controversies that came with the release last year. They're talking about controversies that surrounded Joker last year, when it was a $1 billion movie. This movie was loved, and there were critics of it. There were a lot of people who disliked it. There were a lot of people who didn't think that it was a very good story, but I completely disagree. I think that Joker was fantastic. Put a 1 in chat if you liked Joker, and a 2 in chat if you disliked it or didn't even see it. I understand that Joker made a lot of money. I understand that they want more money. Joaquin Phoenix probably saw how huge Joker got, and he realized, holy shit, we can really capitalize on this. I'm going to be honest, I'm very on the fence with a Joker 2, because the first Joker was such a unique story that's never really been seen, and it was an experience that we've never had on the big screen. And I think 2 could also be really good, but I'm worried that it won't be as good as the first one, because the suspense of him becoming so far gone mentally was the point of 1. And 2 can't obviously be about that, because he's already at his breaking point. meaning it's going to need to go in a very different direction than the first one, and it may not end up feeling the same way, and I'd rather them leave it as a standalone movie unless they've got a really good direction for it. And it's still in talks, as this says. There's nothing committed yet. We have no definitive answer if there will be a 2 or if this will be a trilogy, but I'm worried that it would not be as amazing as 1. I obviously loved 1. I would love to see a sequel, but I want it to be really good, and I don't want them to half-ass it, which I don't think that they would half-ass it, but there's always that worry. We see so many amazing movies come out, and then the sequel is certified garbage. Continuing on with the article, though, the Insider further alleges that the timetable has been set for production on the sequels, and noted that Warner Brothers has committed from Joker director Todd Phillips and producer Bradley Cooper. They plan to make 2 sequels in the next 4 years, with a long-term commitment to Jaquan and his Joker director Todd Phillips and producer Bradley Cooper, offered the source. They added, it's also about getting Jaquan, who signed for the original film in the 11th hour, to accept the terms, and the biggest payday of his career by far, said payday, which again currently stands at $50 million. Despite the fact that the sequel is still being negotiated, the source claims that the scripts are being written and he is very engaged with it. I like that idea, that the actor is very caring about what's going on with the movie and the script. Sometimes that can be very bad if an actor is affiliated with the project and actually has a say in the character, because sometimes we see how messy it can get. They want to throw politics into it, and they want to throw their own opinions into it, and it's like they think that because they played the character once that the character is now kind of them, and we see that unfortunately happen. But I think that Phoenix has done an amazing job in so many movies that he's been in, that he can really take this role, and if he's got an idea for it and he's actually part of the plans for it, he can really make it amazing. And I think that he did an amazing job in the first one. I think that he isn't one of those actors that is going to ruin the character. I think that he is going to help that character evolve and help that character grow. The Insider also revealed that Warner Brothers wants to have sequels out by 2022 and 2024 respectively, which would place the next Joker film on the studio's release schedule alongside The Flash and Aquaman 2. Sequel talk began after Joker's unexpected box office success, a reception which shocked Warner Brothers as much as anyone. The Hollywood Reporter previously broke a story in November that Phillips and co-writer Scott Silver were working on a follow-up. Why was this so shocking for people? Why? It's the Joker that you're talking about. You were presenting us with a story that we haven't seen before. I don't understand why they thought that it was going to do bad, or why they thought that it wasn't going to do as amazing. I, from the beginning, thought that it was going to be a massively successful movie. I didn't even think that it would be as big as it is, but I thought that it would be big. And it is, and it was really good, and I'm really glad that they made it, and I'm really glad that they are hopefully sticking with their original ideas, but what they're going to do from here, who knows? At the time, Phillips downplayed the report just as that, mere talk. Well, a movie doesn't make $1 billion and they don't talk about a sequel, he said. Well, obviously. He would add that Phoenix and I have publicly said we've been talking about a sequel since 2 weeks of shooting because it's a fun thing to talk about. He then republicated the THR article and stated that the article was referring to other things. That they just... things that... What? Things then that were just frankly untrue. A little bit of problems in this sentence. Doesn't sound correct English. Sorry about that. I just don't know how it gets started if some assistant trying to gain street cred with a writer. It says Joker grossed over $1 billion worldwide during its theatrical run, though Warner Brothers didn't receive much in the way of profits due to the movie being produced through the investment of multiple parties. The production of further Joker sequels could be a way for Warner Brothers to recoup their financial losses while maintaining public interest in the character. So, we don't have any confirmation. That's a huge thing to say here. We have no confirmation that this is real. We have no confirmation that this movie is going to actually come out and that there's going to be some trilogy. I hope that this movie is going to come out. I said it before, I'm worried. I am skeptical. I am extremely nervous that this movie or sequel, or if they make it a trilogy, will feel different than the first movie, because the first movie was so intense. But I think that they can do a good job. I think that Phoenix knows his character. He did the character wonderfully in the first movie, and I think that with the same directors and writers, they can make this movie out of this world. They could really make this a fantastic trilogy if they want to go for a trilogy. Right now, 2 is in talks, apparently 3 is in talks, so none of it's confirmed. But if he was offered truly $50 million to reprise his role as Joker, he would have one of the top paid roles in Hollywood, and congratulations to him. The first movie was amazing, but that's all that I really had to talk about for Joker. So that was the end of the articles that I had to discuss tonight. We talked about the Joker 2 and possibly 3. We talked about the Flash and the DCEU. We discussed the PlayStation 5 roundup and GameStop. Will GameStop survive? Probably not, but I am going to go to the Q&A portion of the live stream. If you guys have any questions or topics you would like me to discuss, please feel free to put them into chat now, and I would be happy to answer. I like how anti-PC that Joker was. Joker was just so amazing in so many ways, and that definitely is one way. And I hope that 2 would be that good as well, and possibly 3. Thank you, Leon, for the $20 donation. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not getting my hopes up about a sequel, and about it being good. You guys are typing a lot of random words into chat, which isn't particularly helpful. The Joker made $1 billion worldwide. Yeah, it made over $1 billion worldwide. The media hoped that it would bomb. Oh, 100%. The media didn't like the movie because of just how different it was. It wasn't a movie that anymore would be able to go for Oscar's Best Picture. Too many white men. Not enough diversity. Oh no. That's awful. I can't believe the Oscars did that still. Do you think that GameStop might be able to bounce back? I would love to say yes, but I think that GameStop is too far gone now. I do not see a way that they can save themselves. I think that in the next year and a half or 2 years, we're going to see a Chapter 11 from them. And with the way that the industry is changing, with how digital is changing, how everything is going to digital now, I think that they're not going to survive. But I hope that they do. Drunk Vera, yes. Vera, can you have a wine? During Dark Souls, how about that? F for GameStop. I'll put an F in chat for GameStop. I'm so disappointed. I love physical media, but it's not going to survive. Hashtag Oscars so non-diverse. Oversaturation of Batman or Gotham, to be fair, or to be honest, I thought that the Gotham show was amazing. That Gotham show was it was so good. And I thought that Ben Affleck's Batman was good as well. I have high hopes for Robert Pattinson's Batman. I am really into the story so far. From what we know, we don't know a lot about it. I would love for it to be good. I'm always for Batman though. I'm a little bit biased. Give me a Batman and I will fangirl. GameStop wants to try and sell digital. Not sure how that will work. Guys, imagine going into a GameStop and buying and seeing all the walls instead of physical games. Maybe like the back wall will be physical games, but all with like the codes. When you could literally just go to your console and buy a code digitally and redeem it digitally and not have to go to a store. Imagine that. They should make... This sounds really bad. Oh, I'm gonna regret saying this probably. They should make like machines. Like, you guys know the claw machines? They should make claw machines with a bunch of digital codes in them. it'll probably be filled with a bunch of Madden 21. Maybe you'll get like a good game in there. Maybe you'll get like a Ghost of Tsushima in there. Maybe you'll get like, I don't know, Fortnite V-Bucks or something. They should make those claw machines. Some with microtransactions like game currency. Some with monthly and yearly subscriptions. This is a bad idea. I don't want to support that, but honestly, that could be kind of fun. Let's not give them any ideas, though. GameStop, save yourself. Claw machines, right down the rows. You've got microtransaction ones with, like, Fortnite V-Bucks, and you've got one with monthly subscriptions, so there's, like, a month of PSN in there, a year of PSN in there. You've got ones for huge titles, like some of the best games to release. You've got... I'm giving them really good ideas here. Guys, I'm opening a GameStop competitor soon, and that's what I'm gonna do. Confirmed. A claw machine that lets you cancel Netflix for a refund. Do you think, I think, yeah, let's do it. I mean, they could also have claw machines with, like, monthly subscriptions for TV networks as well. Why not? You've got Netflix in there, you have Hulu in there, you have some Funimation. I mean, there's so many now. There's so many now, which was the downfall of Blockbuster. Pachinko machines, hit the lever! Oh no. Wait until GameStop decides to do this. Do you think that Amazon killed GameStop? Physical copies, most of them 30 to 40% off, single click of a button versus buying used copies. I do definitely think that that Amazon did hurt GameStop as well. I do definitely think so. But I don't think it was solely Amazon. I think that it was also just the market changing with how I read 85% of games sold in 2018 were like digital games. I just think that the switch to digital has been so massive that it has hurt GameStop quite a lot. And I also think that things like Amazon did hurt GameStop. You get what you fucking deserve. Vera turning into a casino criminal. I've got some big ideas. If these companies want to play dirty, I can figure out ways to make microtransaction money in their market too. I mean, I read about so many microtransaction schemes happening all the time in different games by different companies that I have many ideas now. That's pretty sad. Feel free to hire me. Amazon killed Borders Books and Games. I'm not sure how Barnes & Nobles is still open. Honestly, I don't know how Barnes & Nobles is still open either. They're very overpriced a lot of the time. And like I said earlier, another thing I want to say is that GameStop picked up things like Funko Pops and all this pop culture bullshit, but other stores did too. I mean, even fucking Barnes & Nobles sells Funko Pops. Barnes & Nobles is my local game store now, guys. They sell Magic the Gathering cards, they sell dice, they sell D&D, they sell books. I mean, Barnes & Nobles is my new LGS. I don't need anything else. But all of these companies picked up the pop culture and thought that it would do really well, and that was a big problem for GameStop, is that they picked it up while everyone else was picking it up. So everyone suddenly had all of this product, like the Pops, Funko Pops, and it just imploded for them. I hate Funko Pops, guys. If you all have any Funko Pops you don't want anymore, feel free to send them to me, and I'll do a sacrificial burning live stream of Funko Pops. I guess that's true. The 20% of people who still want physical games just get it on Amazon for cheaper. GameStop is a dinosaur, still selling full price where things are cheaper, faster elsewhere. Oh yeah, Ryan, you are definitely correct. GameStop has just put themselves in a shitty position over the years with all of the controversies they've been in, with their shitty prices that they give people for used games, and their shitty return policies. I think that they killed themselves. I don't think that they can really save themselves now. I thought last year maybe they could, but I think I believe that they can't save themselves now because of COVID, because of how much COVID has messed up the industry. I mean, in every industry, and just kind of the world in general, because they had to close for so many months, and now we have consoles coming out where there's a $300 version that's discless, so you can't even buy physical media with it anymore, and that lessens the amount of people who are buying physical media as well, because let's look at parents for a second. There are going to be so many parents that are going to be like, I'm going to buy this $300 console for my child instead of a $500 one. And then that generation of gamers, because we know that the cheaper version of consoles always sells to a specific audience of people, won't be interested in physical media. And there are so many parents who go to a store and go, I'm going to buy the $300 version instead of the $500 version. Why would I spend that much money on it? That's so much money. And then it's not even just parents, but people in general, and then they can never buy physical, so it eliminates that consumer from buying physical, and it's just this cycle. Why do you hate Funko Pops, Vera? Because they're trash. Thank you for coming to my Titan Talk. I appreciate it. They've made every wrong move, unfortunately. Every wrong move, literally. Blockbuster and their return charges and made-up add-ons killed themselves. Well, it's not just that. I mean, just the growing of digital killed Blockbuster. I mean, we see something like Netflix, which is huge now, which is digital. It's not physical media anymore. And that also really hurt them. It's kind of the same situation with GameStop. They started really amazing. I mean, GameStop was a huge company. I mean, they were massive. They still have over 5,000 stores, which is good for them, I guess, but they really need to close, like, a lot of them, even though they're trying to. They were huge, and on top when physical media was really big, and then physical media started to fizzle out, and now you have digital everything. Everyone's going for digital. Which I'm not going to blame anyone for going digital. I'm someone that despises digital. I only buy digital if I cannot get my hands on a physical game. Just the way that I am. I would rather have a cluttered gaming space and have a physical version than a digital version. But it's very convenient for people to be able to just scroll through the PlayStation store instead of going to a physical retail store and going, oh, I think I'm gonna buy this game, because you're in the comfort of your home. You can look up videos for it and Google it and reviews, and have that time where if you go to a store, you either know what you're going for, or you don't take that time to look into your purchase, so you end up putting things down and then walking away, going home and looking at it, and then buying it. Very similar situation that's happening to GameStop that happened to Blockbuster. No one wanted to rent physical movies anymore, right? Everyone could just do it online. It's so much easier. Blockbuster went away before the 4K came, yeah. Funko is a modern-day Beanie Babies. The market will crash eventually. Well, the Funko market has crashed. It's not... There's still Funkos that are worth quite a lot of money, just like the Beanie Babies that are still... There are still some that are massive amounts of money, buku bucks, but a lot of Funko Pops now are just... You buy them for $5 on clearance because nobody wants them. Vera, why are Funko Pops trash? Because they're trash. TM. I've trademarked it. I've trademarked the word trash, everyone. You don't own digital games until more people realize that it's going to be funny when this generation that grows up on digital only finds out that their stuff is inaccessible because of cost. So, I mean, yeah, you don't own physical digital games. Sorry, that's why I like to have a physical game. I mean, unfortunately, with most physical games now, you take it out of the box and you have to sign into their networks. You have to have an internet connection, or you have to, like, you have to do all these things. You have to update a patch day one. But I would still rather have a physical disc than have a digital download. And with that, everyone, I am going to end the live stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. I do very much so appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed the live stream, please make sure to give it a like. Of course, if you did not, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way. Please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month. I really do appreciate all of the support, you guys. If you want to donate directly, please consider donating via PayPal. The link is in the description. Make sure to follow me on social media like Twitter if you do not, because I do post some of my thoughts on topics there. I do also take topic suggestions, and I also just I post my content. And also please make sure to join the Discord if you are not part of it already. We're extremely active there. I talk quite a lot in the supporter chat. I do tag you guys when I go live in case YouTube does not notify you, because unfortunately YouTube does not notify people a lot of the time. It's a shame. It's a shame, but I do tag you guys when I go live there, and I also post my videos in the Discord. I don't tag everyone excessively, but I do tag you a little bit. But I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and have a fantastic night, everyone.